Welcome to today's lesson on finding the surface area of a prism. So first of all, let's have a little recap on the previous lesson then. A prism then is a 3D shape which has the same cross-section running all the way through the shape. So the first shape that we've got here is called a cuboid. Cross-section is a rectangle at the front here in yellow, and a cuboid has 6 faces, rectangular or square in shape. The second shape, and the one we're going to focus on finding the surface area of in the main today, is going to be this one here, and it's called a triangular prism. Okay, so if we look carefully at the shape, the front of here, the cross section is a triangle, but we can also see that this shape here is a rectangle. So a triangular prism is made up of both triangles and rectangles. And the third type of prism that we deal with is called the cylinder, and that's something you'll come back to in the following lessons. So for today's lesson then, to work out the surface area of any prism, we need to find the area of each of its faces. That's really important. So as I previously mentioned, a cuboid has 6 faces. When we're dealing with a triangular prism, we need to know how many faces we're actually trying to find the area of. As I just mentioned, we need to be finding the area of a rectangle. So in order to do that, we need to work out the length times the width of the rectangle in order to find the area inside. And a triangle is labeled as base and height. So in order to work out the area of a triangle, it's base times height, but divided by 2. And that's because, if you remember back, a triangle is half of a rectangle. So that's really important, base times height divided by 2 to find the area of a triangle. So let's have a look at this example then. It's showing us a triangular prism. The cross section is the triangle here at the front, and we can find the area of that face. Now, in order to find the area of that face, we need to apply the formula base times height divided by 2. So we can see here that the base is 8, the height is 6. They're in centimeters, so we would work out 8 times 6 divided by 2. We know that 8 times 6 is 48, and 48 divided by 2 is 24. So in this case, that's 24 centimeters squared, because the units are all in centimeters. Now, we've also got here, which we can't see at the back, but there is also a triangular face right at the back of the shape here. So, again, 8 times 6, we already know that that is equal to 24 centimeters squared. Well, what else do we know about this shape then? Well, it's got more faces than those 2 there. So let's have a quick look, see if we can identify some more faces. Well, the other one we can actually see in the picture is this one here, and it's a rectangle. If we have a look along this length here, it's 11 centimeters, and along this length here, this side is 10 centimeters. So we would want to be finding the area of that rectangle. So remember, length times width, it'll be 11 times 10, which is 110 centimeters squared. Okay, what else can we see then in this picture? Well, we need to be thinking behind the picture. So I can draw that line back in here. And if I draw that there, it's showing me now a rectangle here. Now it's showing me that it's 6 centimeters there, and this length here is 11 centimeters. So I want to draw another rectangle from here. That's another face, which is 11 centimeters by 6 centimeters. To work out the area of that, 6 times 11 is 66 centimeters squared. Now, if I continue on that diagram here, I can see now that I have got the very bottom of the triangle of the prism, and that's the base. And if I have a look, that's rectangular in shape, and it's 8 centimeters by 11 centimeters. So I need one more rectangle, which shows me that it's 11 centimeters by 8 centimeters. So 11 times 8 is 88 centimeters squared. Now, I've now got 5 areas here to work with. There are 5 faces on every triangular prism, and I need to add them together. So now I need to focus on finding the total. So the total surface area on this shape is adding up 24, 110, 66, and 88. And for this part of the question, I would expect you to really be using a calculator to help you work those out. And in total on here, that will come to 202 centimeters squared. So adding those 5 face areas up, it comes to 202 centimeters squared. Okay, another example of a triangular prism. The front of this one, the cross section here, it's a triangle. It's not the same type of triangle as the one on the previous example here. This one was a right angle triangle. This one is an isosceles triangle here. So what we need to work out then, we've got 5 faces again. We've got 3 millimeters at the base, and the height there is 4 millimeters. So remember to work this one out. 4 times 3 and divided by 2. So that's 12 divided by 2, that's 6, and in this case, millimeters squared. And again, if I draw in the lines at the back here, then we're going to have another one exactly the same at the back. So we've got another triangle with the same information on, and again, that's going to be 6 millimeters squared. That's 2 of the 5 faces. Okay, let's focus then on the other faces. So we've got this face that we can see on this side here, and that's going to be a rectangle, which is 10 by 5. So we draw out a rectangle, it's 10 by 5. So length times width on this one, it'll be 10 times 5, which is 50 millimeters squared. Now, again, if we look carefully at the diagram itself, perhaps I'll get rid of some of these markings here to make it a little bit easier. Okay, we can also see that on the other side of this, by here, is another rectangle with exactly the same information on. So another rectangle, which is 10 by 5. So here's our 4th face, and we already know 10 times 5 is 50. So in this case, 50 millimeters squared. And then the final one really on here will be the base of the triangular prism. So the base of the triangular prism, draw it out, is here. As we can see, the base is here, so it's 10 millimeters by 3 millimeters. So the base will be 10 millimeters by 3 millimeters, and 10 times 3 gives me an area of 30 millimeters squared. Now again, I've got my 5 areas, and I need to add them all together, okay, to give me the total surface area on this shape. So calculate them now to give me a total of, well, 50 and 50 is 100, plus 30, 130, 2 6s are 12, so add that on to 130, 142, and it'll be millimeters squared. And that is the total surface area for this triangular prism. Okay. What I would like you to do now is have a go at these 3 shapes here, and I would like you to try and find the total surface area. Try and draw out separate faces. That might be helpful for you, and then work it out. You should have 5 faces to work out on each of these shapes to find the total surface area. Pause the video now, and when you're ready and you've finished having a go at those questions, press play again, and it will show you the solutions to the questions. Okay, here are the solutions to each of those questions. Please check over them. Right then, let's do a final checking question then for today's lesson. On this one, we can see again a triangular prism, but on this one here, we can clearly see straight away that we don't have a measurement for this side here, which is the length of the triangular prism. We are calling it X. But what I am telling you is that the total surface area of the prism is 218 meters squared. That means the 5 faces in total give an area of 218 meters squared. Can you use that information now to have a go at finding X? Pause the video and when you're ready, press play to see the solution. Okay, welcome back. Well, again, based on the principle before, this face here at the front here is 4 times 7. So 4 times 7 divided by 2. 4 times 7 is 28. Half of that is 14. So we've got 14 meters squared. We've got another one here at the back. So we've got another 4 times 7 divided by 2, 14 meters squared. So we've done the two triangular faces. Right, let's have a look then at the rectangular faces now. So the first rectangle that we see is this one here. Again. Now, that's length times width, so that's 8 times x. Well, 8 times x, that's going to give me an area of 8x. Right, what are the triangles that we got on this shape? Well, let's have a look. We've got the base. Got the base here. Well, the base will be that 7 multiplied by the x. So the next one we've got is 7 times x, which is an area of 7x. And finally, we've got this final side here, right, which is the one around the back here. Okay, so there's a rectangular face there. It's 4, and this side here is x. So the last one we've got here is 4 times the x, which is 4x. So now we need to add up our areas in total. So we've got here 14 meters squared and 14 meters squared. That's 28 meters squared. And then we've got 8x plus 7x plus 4x. So we can collect those terms together as well. So 8x, add 4x, add 7x in total gives me 19x. 14 and 14 is 28. So we know that 19x plus 28 is the total for our five sides of the area. And we know in the start of the question, we was told that the total surface area for the prism was 218 meters squared. We've set up a simple two-step equation to solve. So remember, first thing we do is take 28 off both sides. So take 28 off both sides. So we're going to take away that 28. So 28 take away 28 is nothing. And we're going to take 28 off 218, which gives us 190. And then we're going to solve it from there. So 19 times something is 190. We're going to divide by 19. So each side is going to be divided by 19. So 19x divided by 19 is x. And 190 divided by 19 is 10. So in this case, the length of that missing side on the triangular prism is 10 meters in this case. Thanks for listening to today's lesson.